Yeah. We back at it. We back at it again. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on JAKIB Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Man, oh man, it's been a long time. And I appreciate you guys for always locking in with me. You guys have always been loyal to the soil. You guys have followed me no matter where I've been, no matter where the content has come from. You guys have always been loyal to the soil, and I'm super grateful for that. I do not take that kind of support for granted. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are engaged in the content. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to discuss. So much going on in my personal life, but we're here. And I'm grateful for you guys for being here. Once again, make sure you guys smash that like button if you're new to the content. Before you subscribe, I want you to make sure you like what you hear. I want to make sure you like what you see. I want to make sure you like the vibes, because at the end of the day, I notice a lot of people ask for you guys to subscribe pretty early on in the content, and the reality is you got to make sure you want to be here first. You want to make sure this is the place for you, right? Because at the end of the day, you may not feel me, you may not agree with me, but ultimately, I want to make sure we have a good time here. So make sure you guys comment below. I want to see who's in the building. We got 45 people in the live chat already. Man, I got to tap in with you guys, man. I know y'all got a lot of questions. Miguel Lara, is that what it is? Miguel Lara coming out of the gate bussing, man. Miguel came out right away, asking $1 million question. Tone, why are you no longer on JAKIB Sports, man? Where have you been? Shout out to my man Roland with the $10 super chat. Thank you, man, for showing love to the live stream. Thank you for showing love to me. It goes a long way. Best believe. Your donation will always help the DeShields household. Lala D, what's going on? Long time no see. I appreciate you. But again, we have a lot to discuss. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to your Philadelphia Eagles, NFL free agency, what's going on, in my career, why I'm no longer on JAKIB Sports. I know you guys have a lot of questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. Now, before we get too deep, right, I want you guys to know one thing. Because my role increased so much on JAKIB Sports, it prevented me from creating content of my own. Now, that's not to say that they prevented me from doing so. Not at all. That's a decision I made. I wanted to pour into JAKIB Sports as much as I possibly could. That's why I took a long hiatus from JAKIB Sports. But nonetheless, we're here, right? JAKIB Sports kind of got put on the back burner, not because of no one else, because of me. I put JAKIB Sports on the back burner because I was pouring my all into JAKIB Sports, and no one else told me to stop making content on on JAKIB Sports. I want to make that clear, right? No one advised me to stop making content on this channel. This was a personal decision for me because I wanted to pour into what I was building over there at JAKIB Sports. So let's make that clear, right? Nonetheless, I'm back on my channel, getting back to building my own thing, getting back to what I know, getting back to what I'm good at, getting back to what makes me the most happy, what makes me the most comfortable, right? We got 85 people in the live chat, man. I really appreciate you guys for locking in. It goes along with me. I appreciate it, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button. And if you like the vibes, if you like the energy, make sure you guys subscribe. Again, don't subscribe if this isn't your vibe, if this isn't your energy. And I can respect that, right? You guys have so many options, and I'm always grateful when you guys make me one of them. So again, shout out to my man Roland with the $10 super chat. That means a lot to me, man. I missed you too. So let's not waste your time, right? I know y'all got a lot of questions about what happened at JAKIB Sports with me in particular. I want to make one thing clear. This isn't going to be a bashing session. This isn't going to be some sort of tell-all. This isn't going to be that, right? I value professionalism. I value my reputation. I value my face card. And I spent a lot of time working for JAKIB Sports. I think I started working for JAKIB Sports in March of 2022, and I learned a lot. Man. I learned about what to do in this game. I learned a lot about what not to do in this game. I learned how to build the YouTube channel. I learned the do's and don'ts, so on and so forth. So, look, I'm not going to spend this whole live stream disparaging or bashing JAKIB Sports. That's not in my nature. That's not in my DNA. ultimately the relationship had to come to an end. But what I will say, because you know, I believe it's important to speak on my side of things, right? And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to tell you guys everything, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? I'll put it to you this way. My departure from JAKIB Sports was not my decision. My departure from JAKIB Sports was not my decision. That decision came from above me. Now, again, like I told you guys, I'm not going to kill anybody. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not even going to say anything negative about JAKIB Sports. I have nothing negative to say about them, right? At the end of the day, it's business. And this is a part of the game, right? If you guys want to look into JAKIB Sports, you can do that on your own. It's all public knowledge, right? You can do it on your own time. But I'm not going to sit here and talk negatively about JAKIB Sports because JAKIB Sports gave me my shot. They gave me my first shot in this industry. They gave me my first shot in this game. So I think it's important to respect the hand that once fed you, right? You know, regardless of how things ended, I think it's important to maintain your professionalism throughout. I think it's important to always not lose your self-respect, not lose your dignity, even in the face of adversity, even when it's easy to jump out the window, even when it's easy, you know, to sell negativity, because we know we're in the time right now where negativity sells, right? That's the era we're in. Negativity sells. So I'm not going to spend time killing JAKIB Sports. But what I will say is that my departure was not on my own accord. My departure from JAKIB Sports was not my decision. It came from above me, and I have no control over that. They decided to take their content in a new direction. They decided to take their programming in a new direction. And that's something that I have to live with, right? You know, I can't, well, hold on real quick, future men, real quick. I want to clear this part up too. You know, Rob Ellis and D Gun, definitely not snakes. And I'll clear that up for you right now, future men. I appreciate you for locking in, but let me make this one thing clear. Rob Ellis and Derek Gunn have been nothing but respectful and honorable to me. Rob Ellis and Derek Gunn, I consider those two guys mentors in this game. I have tremendous reverence for Rob Ellis and D Gun. Those guys have been in this game for a significant amount of time. And the last thing I would ever call those two gentlemen are snakes. I would never say that about Derek Gunn and Rob Ellis. Derek Gunn, one of the most humble, one of the most genuine men in this game. Rob Ellis, one of the most giving, one of the most humble guys in this game as well. Taught me a lot, gave me a lot of game, gave me a lot of insight. So I will never, ever allow that to be put on Rob Ellis and D Gun. Those guys did not cost me anything. Those guys gave me more opportunity. Those guys gave me more leash, more leeway. Those guys allowed me to be me. You feel what I'm saying? So I can never say anything negative about Rob Ellis or D Gun. Never. I can't. I can't say anything negative about John McMullen or Jordan McDonald. I can't say anything negative about Mark Farzetta. I can't say anything negative about Bill Colarulo. I can't say anything negative about Dan Sileo, because Dan Sileo gave me an opportunity on his platform to have an hour plus segment with him to kick it and talk football. So how can I disparage or talk negatively about somebody who gave me an opportunity to shine, right? We all know what's going on in D-Gun's personal life. You know, his wife, it's public knowledge. His wife got sick and he had to take some time off. So I had an opportunity to fill in for him at Sports Take, right? And Rob Ellis, he gave me the lane. Every day, Rob Ellis threw the oop and he gave me the opportunity to dunk it. Rob Ellis gave me the rock and told me to shoot. Kids, shoot. So I can't say anything negative about Rob Ellis, D Gun. I can't say anything negative about the people I've worked with over there. I cannot say anything negative about my colleagues. I can't, because they gave me an opportunity to shine. Football 24/7 with John McMullen, one of my favorite things to do. Gave me my opportunity to shine. You feel what I'm saying? So I can't. I'm not. That's not what this is going to be. Like I told you guys, I have nothing negative to say about my former employers. If you guys want to do your own research on JAKIB Sports and what they're going through, you can do that. But you're not going to hear from me because that's not what I'm into. And you know, I look at it like this, man. I've always been a voice, right? Producing, and I'm glad you kind of bring that up, Blount. He says you were doing producing. You switched over to discuss the Eagles content. Why didn't they bring you back to producing? Now, here's the thing, right? You know, I always by trade was a voice. That was always the goal for me, to be a voice, right? Producing was more so a means to an end. Creating this content with you, I'm producing on the fly, right? So I understand what you're saying, Blount, but you know, the reality is, you know, things change, people change, roles change, visions change, and you got to follow suit with that regardless. So, and again, I know we got a lot of Eagles stuff to talk about, and I'm going to get into that with you guys. You know, Eagles are signing. Eagles have signed or are going to sign Bryce Huff, edge rusher that played for the Jets. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into all that, you guys. Trust me. But I want to set the record straight with you guys because I want you guys to know where I'm at with things and let you guys know I'm doing okay. I took some time off to get my thoughts together. I took some time off to, you know, sit with myself and really figure out what could I have done differently, right? You know, as a creator, as someone who likes to talk to the people. That's something that I wanted to take the time out and really do for myself because ultimately, wow, okay, wow. We got some things to discuss, you guys. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. We're going to talk about Bryce Huff. The Eagles are making moves, man. We're going to talk about that. But ultimately, again, JAKIB Sports gave me my shot. Through JAKIB Sports, I had the opportunity to make so many connections in this game. Reporters, broadcasters, producers, pro players, right? I have nothing negative to say about my guy Barrett Brooks. Barrett Brooks, another guy that passed me the ball and told me to shoot, young fella, still checks on me to this day. Calls me every now and again. Hey, young brother, how you doing? Making sure you're good. Let me know if you need me. That's priceless to me. See, I valued my network, my connections more than anything else. And that's what I got from JAKIB Sports. So again, as much as you guys probably can find, as much as you guys may think which way or that way, JAKIB Sports provided me with an opportunity to establish a network of people that I have nothing bad to say about. You feel what I'm saying? Nothing negative. They made their decision. They decided to go in a different direction with their content. And that's something that they have to live with, not me. Right? I ain't got nothing bad to say about nobody. No love lost. I wish everybody the best. I want everybody to win. It's so much landscape on this internet for everybody to win. So what would I look like talking crazy about another network that gave me a shot? Besides, that won't bode well for my future, will it? That won't look too good of me trying to get another opportunity, right? But at the end of the day, I'm focused more so on building my opportunity here with you guys. So let's not waste no time. I spent about the first 15 minutes talking about what went wrong at JAKIB Sports, at least on my side of things. It's funny. You know, people kept hitting me up. Damn, Tone, where you been? What happened? What happened to Sports Take? What happened to the segment? What happened to this? What happened to that? And the reality is sometimes, you know, when you make decisions, you have to reap the consequences of those decisions. And sometimes there are people who have to also take the hit for said decisions, right? Again, I'm not going to get into too much detail. I'm not going to talk negative about nobody. But when people make decisions that go far above you, you have no say-so in the matter. You have no say-so. All you can do is prepare the best way you know how. That's all. That's all you can do. So nonetheless, I done talked your ear off enough about when we're wrong at JAKIB Sports. I want you guys to continue to watch them. I want you guys to continue to like their content. I want you guys to always stay subscribed to those guys. There's enough space out here for everybody. So I want you guys to keep watching their content. I want you to watch it from beginning to end. Don't miss a show. Lock in with them because it's enough space out here for everybody. And although I may not be there, I'm not going to tell you to not watch their content. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm going to do. Lock in with them. Watch their content. See where it goes. Right? See how it grows. Right? That's all I can say, man. I wish that whole squad, that whole network, that whole team who's left over there, I want them to win big time. Big time. Because there's too much food on the table for me to be selfish. There's too much food on the table for me to look at somebody else's plate and get mad that, damn, I can't eat over there no more. It's okay. You see, I took so much time away from building my own table. I took so much time away from, creating and crafting my own meals. I've been focusing on putting food on someone else's plate instead of focusing on putting food on my plate. So this is what we're back to get. That's where we're back, right? We're getting back to feeding ourselves. We're getting back to putting food on our own plates, Philadelphia. Matter of fact, wherever you guys are in the world, we're getting back to putting that. That's the theme of this show, right? Put the food back on your plate. That's what it's all about, right? You got to feed yourself. Because here's the thing about business that I want you guys to know. No matter what, always feed your wolves. Whoever's working with you, whatever you're doing, if you work for a company, if you work for somebody, if you got a company and you lead people, always feed your wolves. Always feed your wolves. Because eventually, if you don't feed your wolves, y'all know what happens. When you don't feed your wolves, what do wolves do to the alpha when you don't feed? Y'all know how this thing, y'all know how the animal kingdom goes. Y'all know how this thing goes. If you don't feed your wolves, eventually they start feeding on you. That's how this thing goes, man. So I'm going to focus on putting the food on my plate. I took time away from Chocolate Sports. I took a whole season off. You can make an argument. I took a whole year off from Chocolate Sports to pour into JAKIB Sports. And sometimes things don't always work out in your favor. But regardless, you smile, you give love, you show love, and you look at it like this. I may have lost then, but now I'm built to win. You feel what I'm saying? And like y'all know the mantra for the show. Y'all know the code words. Y'all know how I give it up here. No matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. How could I be your host if I didn't live by my own words? I won and I lost. But guess what? You charge it to the game and you move on. You keep building. You keep taking them steps forward because the grind don't stop. The grind don't stop. Okay. All right. Let's not waste time here, you guys. So here we go, man. Let's do it. Apparently, the Philadelphia Eagles decided to bring in Saquon Barkley, man. Okay. All right. So I know this was the rumor, right? The rumor was Saquon Barkley was going to the Philadelphia Eagles. That the Eagles were making a strong push for him. He stays in the NFC East, so he doesn't have to go too far. Remember, he's a Penn State guy, so he's going to have a lot of people in attendance at those Eagles games. And I'm pretty sure staying on the East Coast was pretty important to him. So let's do some math here, right? It says here, by way of Adam Schefter, former Giants running back Saquon Barkley reached an agreement with the Philadelphia Eagles on a 3-year, $37.75 million contract that could be worth up to $46.75 million and includes $26 million fully guaranteed at signing per sources. Okay. All right. Barkley now beats the franchise tag number and has a maximum average per year salary of $15.833 million, which would be second highest for a running back in NFL history. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. I did not expect the Philadelphia Eagles to spend this kind of money on a running back. Let's really think about the Philadelphia Eagles history. They didn't want to sign Miles Sanders. They didn't want to give Miles Sanders $6 million or $6.5 million. They would have much rather pay or split $6.5 million 4 ways between DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell. That was their preference. They would have much rather bust down $6.5 million between 4 guys than give one guy $6.5. But now they jump out the window and give Saquon Barkley a 3-year, $37.75 million contract and he can earn up to $46.75 with $26 million guaranteed. So let's just do some math, right? Let's just say he doesn't hit the incentives. Let's just say that, right? Let's just look at the contract at face value. 3 years, $37.75 million, okay? 37.75 divided by 3 years. They're paying him an average salary of $12.58 million. That's if he doesn't hit those incentives. But let's just say he does hit all incentives, right? The $46.75 million. 46.75 divided by 3 years. That's an average salary of $15.58 million. Wow. 26 million in the bank. So if you ask me, based off of the guarantees of 26 million, the Eagles basically gave him a 2-year deal and they have it out after year 3. After year 2. First and foremost, I do have my own concerns. Saquon Barkley, as talented as he is, as great as he is, can he stay healthy? That's my biggest concern. Can Saquon Barkley stay healthy? Again, Saquon Barkley is a supreme talent, one of the most talented running backs in the NFL, one of the most dynamic running backs in the NFL. Saquon Barkley is arguably one of the most dynamic running backs in the NFL. Can cut on the dime, can run with power, run with speed, can catch the ball in the backfield, can run damn near the full route tree, has hands like glue, some of the best hands at the running back position. This isn't about talent, right? I think when we think about Saquon Barkley, we don't debate talent. I think we can easily say without a shadow of a doubt, Saquon Barkley is more talented than DeAndre Swift. I think that goes without question. DeAndre Swift had a career year with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I also feel like the Philadelphia Eagles did not utilize him well. They didn't utilize him well, right? As a matter of fact, I think DeAndre Swift, if I'm not mistaken, I think Swift got a contract from the Bears, 3 years, $24 million. 3 years, $24 million. And remind you, Saquon got $26 million guaranteed just off the cuff. So DeAndre Swift's contract is 3 years, $24 million. So DeAndre Swift went to the Bears on an $8 million salary, and the Eagles got Saquon on a salary between 12.5 to 15.8 million. So the Eagles looked at the drawing board and they said to themselves, we cannot continue to go cheap at running back. Did y'all see this coming? Yes, Roland, Saquon can block. Yes, he sure can. He sure can. But did y'all see this coming? I need to know. I need to check the temperature because I didn't see this coming. I know the rumor mill was on fire, but I looked at the Philadelphia Eagles history, right? They don't pay running backs. That's not what they do. The last running back they paid was LaShawn McCoy. And then he was gone, what, a year or two later? That's just not what they do. Roland asked, can he block? I said, yes. He says, that's all I need to know. My man, Pro Fan Talk, Coach Marcus, my man. with the money signs. Listen, the money is falling. Listen, we can't forget about our guy Landon Dickerson as well. Landon Dickerson, he got paid today too, man. We got a lot to discuss here. There's so much going on. It's free agency, but Landon Dickerson got paid as well. I think Landon Dickerson is now the highest paid. He's now the highest paid guard in the NFL. He's the highest paid guard in NFL history. Of course, I remember you, Infamous. Come on, man. Of course, I remember you, dog. Yes, it's been a long time, man. Of course, I remember you. It's always love, man. I appreciate you. You still got that wrench, don't you? Man, says here. Oh, man, this is crazy. All right, so here we go. Quadir Johnson says, Justin Simmons next. Hey, you never know. You never know. Somebody do me a favor and look up how old is Justin Simmons. How old is he? Because the Eagles definitely need safety help. And I know there's a rumor that CJ could make a return. I don't know. But Infamous, oh my God, man. Why are you're not really a Commanders fan. Carson Wentz is not there anymore. You don't gotta rock with the Commanders anymore, Infamous. It's all good. You don't gotta do that. Carson not there no more. As a matter of fact, he with the Rams, I think, right? So maybe you should be a Rams fan now, Infamous. Let's see. Carl Ray, this tells me Howie Roseman's job is on the line. Carl. Be careful what you might say, man. Y'all might get us knocked off. Y'all might get us knocked off YouTube. Look, I've been very critical of the Philadelphia Eagles over the past few months, right? I've been very critical. You guys have seen everything that I've had to say on JAKIB Sports. If you guys are just hopping in on the live stream, thank y'all so much. We got over 200 people in this live stream, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you guys continue to stay locked in on the content. If you guys like what you hear, if you guys like the energy, like the vibes, make sure you guys subscribe to the channels. Make sure you guys are subscribed to JAKIB Sports. It means a lot to me. But Carl, be careful, man. You know, you good, Carl. Don't worry, you good. I'm just messing with you. But here's the thing, right? Howie Roseman does understand the pressure is on. The pressure is on. Think about it. You elevated Brian Johnson. You gave Sean Desai a job. Then you cut him, and then all of a sudden you bring in Matt Patricia to take over for him, and you made all these moves with the Kevin Byard move, and who else? You brought in DeAndre Swift in the off season, and the collapse that they went through. You can't deny what we saw with the Philadelphia Eagles. Everything from top to bottom. We ain't got to get into all of it, but y'all was there. The Philadelphia Eagles had one of the most epic collapses we've ever seen. But, you know, A.J. Brown said something that really stood out to me. He said something on WRP when he was talking. I don't know who it was, but one of the guys on WRP said that they were playing like the best team in football up to a point. And A.J. Brown quickly corrected him and said, no. We were not playing like the best team. We probably had the best record, but we were not playing like the best team, because the best team wouldn't be getting by on the skin of their teeth the way the Philadelphia Eagles had for 10, 12, 13 weeks. They made it to a 10-1 record by the skin of their teeth. So here's the thing. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, what went wrong was lack of a real offensive identity, lack of offensive continuity, lack of offensive creativity, and also your defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Your defense couldn't plug a hole. Your defense couldn't stop a leak. So when you think about it from that perspective, right, the Philadelphia Eagles were doomed to fail from the beginning. But nonetheless, it's a new offseason and we're going into a new year. So here's my thing, right? And Infamous, you brought up something that I'm very concerned about. You brought up something that I'm very, very concerned about. I know Landon Dickerson got his money. I think Landon Dickerson, let's make sure we got those numbers right. Landon Dickerson, he walked away with a 4-year, $84 million contract extension, $50 million guaranteed with an average salary of $21 million per season, right? But Infamous brings up a very good conversation that I'm nervous about, that I'm not afraid to talk about. And the fact of the matter is, where does Devontae Smith fit into this equation? AJ Brown is currently making $25 million per season on average. Michael Pittman just got paid by the Colts. He's going to be making an average salary of $23.8 million. He signed a three-year, $71.5 million contract, $23.8 million per season. So if you ask me, Devontae Smith is much better than Michael Pittman, if you ask me. So does the Devontae Smith contract exist between 23 and 25, 26 million? What does the Devontae Smith extension look like? Now, I understand this part. Devontae Smith does have the fifth-year option. Does that buy the Philadelphia Eagles more time to figure out his money? Maybe. Landon Dickerson, remember, he was drafted in the second round. Therefore, he doesn't have the fifth-year option. So when you think about from that perspective, the clock was ticking much faster for Landon than it was for Devontae. And also on that fifth-year option, Devontae gets a lot of money in that fifth year. But Devontae is going to be entering year 4. So could they be working on his contract as the season progresses? It all remains to be seen. But regardless, Infamous 2K brings up a very good point. Where does Devontae Smith's contract fit into this? Where does it fit in? We got to ask ourselves that. You're paying a running back north of $12 million per season on contract. You're paying one wide receiver $25 million. You just paid Landon Dickerson. He's going to be making $20 million. Jordan Mailata's contract, as of right now, I think Jordan Mailata makes an average salary. Let me make sure I got this right. Jordan Mailata has an average salary of let this load up for a second. Give me a second, you guys. I think Mailata has an average salary of 18 million, 17 million, something like that. Here we are. So Jordan Mailata. Okay, so Jordan Mailata has an average salary of 16 million, but also keep in mind the Jordan Mailata re-up is coming. It's coming soon, and he's going to command north of $20 million. As a matter of fact, Jordan Mailata is going to command north of $25 million, maybe. It's a strong possibility. So when you think about from that perspective, we got to ask ourselves, where does Devontae Smith fit in? Because I think Devontae Smith needs to be here for the long haul. That's my perspective. But I want to know what you guys think. Where does Devontae Smith's money fit in? How do you fit in Devontae's contract when you have this kind of money on the books now? Saquon Barkley. I never would have thought the Eagles would have paid a running back north of $10 million. Never, let alone 6 or 7. That's not what they do. But at the same time, there's always room to buck the trend. Now, at this point, I have no idea what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do next. I have no idea. You want to know why? Because this was the curveball. This was the curveball. Who was the last running back the Eagles paid? LaShawn McCoy, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Who was the last running back they paid big money, and how much was it? How much was it? How much did LaShawn McCoy make when he made it? Jay Quest says too much money for an injured running back. I understand your mindset, Quest. I understand your mindset. I understand your mindset. It's a lot of money for a running back, money that they're not usually used to spending. But at the same time, when you see a guy like Saquon Barkley, and also keep this in mind, you guys, keep this in mind too. Saquon Barkley has never played with the offensive line, a good one. Also, let me make this clear too. From a pure talent perspective, he makes the Eagles' offense better. It's no question. from a pure talent perspective, Saquon Barkley makes the Philadelphia Eagles offense better. Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. That offense is pretty lethal. But once again, what will be the moves on defense that can solidify those issues, right? Now, keep in mind here, I think the rumor is that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to bring in Bryce Huff. That's the word. That's the word on the street, right? Adam Schefter reported it, that Bryce Huff is going to be a Philadelphia Eagle. But this isn't necessarily guaranteed quite yet, right? This isn't guaranteed quite yet. So here we go. Jets free agent defensive end Bryce Huff is signing a 3-year, $51.1 million deal with the Philadelphia Eagles once free agency opens, per sources. The deal will make Huff the highest paid non-quarterback undrafted free agent in NFL history. Wow. Okay. Now here's the thing about Bryce Huff, right? Bryce Huff, $51.1 million deal, 3 years. 51.1 divided by 3 years, that's $17 million. I think that's not bad given where the edge rusher market is going. Think about where the edge rusher market is going. You got guys that are making $30 million an edge rusher, $25 million an edge rusher. That's where you got guys making that kind of money. And remember, Hassan Reddick, he's looking for a big payday as well. Hassan Reddick is looking for what? 20, 22, 25 million. And Hassan Reddick has been productive over the past 4 seasons of his career. We're not going to act like he hasn't been. But Brian Burns, franchise tag, 24 million. Josh Allen from the Jaguars, franchise tag, 24 million. Montez Sweat got a big contract from Chicago, 24.5 million. Rashawn Gary, edge rusher, 24 million. Max Crosby from the Raiders, 23.5 million. Khalil Mack, 23.5 million. Bradley Chubb, 22 million, right? Von Miller, 20 million. Trey Hendrickson, 21 million. Now, I think this Bryce Huff move tells you everything you need to know about Hassan Reddick's future in Philadelphia. It tells you everything you need to know. Right? The Eagles making this move tells you everything you need to know about their next move when it comes to Hassan Reddick. And I heard there was a rumor also where they may be shopping Josh Sweat. I don't know. That's the rumor. But the reality is this. Hassan Reddick, if you ask me, I think he's going to be traded. You don't make this move and think that you're going to also pay Hassan Reddick and find a way to pay Josh Sweat. This move doesn't happen. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? Now, Infamous, you bring up a very good question. Infamous says, Tone, would you rather have Barkley and Huff or Huff and Patrick Queen? You bring up a very good question, my friend. I think the Philadelphia Eagles legitimately need linebacker help. Without question, they need linebacker help. I also felt like they needed running back help. But one can argue they didn't use DeAndre Swift correctly or enough. Hence why his production was kind of, mediocre, especially on the back end of the season. Infamous, you raised a very, very good question. Knowing what I know about that defense, they need linebackers for real. Like legitimately. So you bring up a good question. You bring up a very good question, Infamous. I gotta sit with that one a little bit. I gotta sit with that one a little bit. But if I had to give you an answer, if you had a gun to my head and said, Tone, Patrick Queen or Saquon Barkley, now I'm choosing Patrick Queen. Because the Eagles need defense. They have no defense. Bryce Huff, okay, That solidifies your edge. And on top of that, in comparison to Hassan Reddick, here's another thing we got to discuss as well. Here's one thing we got to discuss. Hassan Reddick at the position, 6'1", 240. Not a big guy in terms of height. Doesn't have that much length. Relies a lot on speed. Bryce Huff, 6'3", 255, 25 years old. Hassan Reddick is going to be is 29 years old. So you got younger. You added more size to your edge, and you likely are paying Bryce Huff significantly cheaper money than what Hassan Reddick probably wanted. So bringing Bryce Huff in, I'm not mad at that. I like that. But again, to bring it back to the Saquon Barkley thing, I didn't expect the Eagles to spend that kind of money. Me personally, if you were going to spend that kind of money on running back, you should have thought about linebacker too. Your defense was trash. Your linebackers was trash. And I hate using that term because trash is it gets thrown around too loosely. And you know what? Let me stick to my guns, right? I don't like the word trash, so I'm going to try not to use it. Your linebacker core was not good. It wasn't good. Zach Cunningham, up and down, got hurt. Nicholas Morrow, up and down. You cut him but brought him back. Nakobe Dean, what the hell is he right now? I don't know what Nakobe Dean is right now. I don't know. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you like the content. I really appreciate all the love. We got 233 people in this live stream right now. I think this is the most I've ever had at one time. But no, maybe not. I can't remember. But you 233 people here are making this thing worthwhile. So make sure you guys smash that like button and make sure you guys continue to stay engaged in the content. I appreciate it, man. Eddie Holmes, Dean's Buns, always hurt. He is always hurt. How do you get 2 injuries in within 10 weeks' time on the same foot? And Pro Fan Talk brings up a great point. The linebackers couldn't tackle. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't stop the run. You just lost Fletcher Cox. You would think you would try to invest in your defense. You would think that. I'm not saying Saquon Barkley is a bad pickup. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But I think you could have spent that money elsewhere on defense. Now, you brought in Bryce Huff, but you need a linebacker. You need a linebacker. Someone who knows how to do the job competently. Delco Green. He says, Tone, I understand what you're saying about the defense, but it's just the start of free agency. I believe they will address the other needs of defense. I feel you, Delco. It's the first day. I totally understand that. But here's my thing, right? If you're going to spend money, if you're going to spend big money, I want the best linebacker you can get on the market, or the best one that's willing to come to Philly. That's my mindset. I want the best linebacker you can get. I don't want to even have to think about linebacker when the game's on. I don't want to even have to think about whether they can tackle or not. That's how bad it was, Delco. And I know you know this. Thank you again for for commenting as well. But y'all know how bad it was at linebacker. Y'all know damn well that linebacker core was so bad. We had no idea what we was working with. And PFT, I agree. I don't think he's done. But I need to know what the plan is for linebacker. I need to know what the plan is here. And once again, shout out to my man Roland with the $10 super chat, man. Roland, I appreciate you for locking in. Super chats are always appreciated, you guys. It means a lot to me. So thank you. So I'm not mad at the Barkley move, but I scratch my head when I look at your defense and I say, okay, you need linebackers. You need to get younger at corner. You You probably need another DT, maybe. You need safeties for sure. You need a slot corner, unless you have the utmost faith in Zach McPherson. Regardless, I just felt like, you spent that money on Saquon. You really are going against your trend. But I would have much rather you going against your trend with the linebacker position. But again, you guys, it's only day one. Jay Quest, and I think this is about Bryce Huff. He says, $17 million for 1 year production is my problem. Huff hasn't proven anything, but when contract time came, he stepped up. If Huff had 6 sacks the year before, that's a trend up. He had 3.5, then 10. That's reasonable. That's a reasonable question, right? How do we know Bryce Huff wasn't a 1 year wonder? How do we know that? You raised a very good question, but that's the thing about free agency, right? It's all about taking swings. It's all about risk. It's all about risk and reward. Here's the thing, though, right? Here's the thing. When it comes to the edge rusher position in particular, right? At an average of 17 million per year, which is what Josh Huff, which is like what Bryce. I keep thinking Josh Huff, which is what Bryce Huff is likely to be making, 17 million average. That puts him around. That will put him ranked about 17th, 16th, 18th. He's tied for 16th in the NFL when it comes to average annual salary at the edge rusher. So here's the thing, right? 17 million. In the grand scheme of things, 17 million is not a lot of money for the edge rusher position. In the grand scheme of things, it's not. Because when you get to that top 10 guys that are making $20+ million, 17 million is a flash in the pan, and you can easily maneuver around that. Remember, they was paying Hassan Reddick 15, or was it 16? I can't remember what it was. 15, I think. So you're spending $2 extra million on a younger guy, and you're banking on his upside. He also gives you more size. And on top of that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bryce Huff put those numbers up playing less than half of the snaps. So now I ask, what does he look like when he's asked to do more? That's a question we have to ask ourselves too with Bryce Huff. Listen to this. In 2023, Bryce Huff, in his best season in the NFL, he played a career high 480 total snaps on defense, which amounts for 42% of the defensive snaps available to him. He was on the field 42% of the time on defense and gave you 10 sacks. Now, my question is, what happens when those snap counts go up? What happens when that snap percentage goes from 42% to 50 to 60%? Does his motor still run hot? Will he be as effective? Because we saw with Josh Sweat, right? Remember Josh Sweat? For him, he had a career year last year, right? In 2022. In 2022, Josh Sweat put up, how many sacks was that? He put up 11 sacks in 2022. Remind you, Josh Sweat in 2022 also played 587 defensive snaps, which is 56% of the defensive snaps available to him. But in 2023, when he had to really up the ante and he had to play 828 defensive snaps, which was 71% of the defensive snaps available, those 11 sacks dropped to 6.5 sacks. So my biggest concern is this, right? Here's my biggest concern. Although Bryce Huff did what he did, playing less than half of the snaps for the Jets, gave you 10 sacks on 40% snaps played, what happens if that 40% jumps to 60%? Will he have the same effect? That's something we have to think about. A lot of these guys, they're so used to playing a certain amount of snaps, a certain amount of reps. That's why Jordan Davis fell off the cliff. That's why Jalen Carter fell off the cliff. Because these guys are used to playing a certain amount of snaps. Can Bryce Huff elevate his motor. He got the money now. So we're going to find out if he still got that hunger, if he still got that dog in him. That's something we got to think about. Jabril Gilbert, what's going on, my man? He says, Tone, you think that we'll adjust more of the defense in the draft? They have to. Jabril, they have to. There's no way they can't address this defense. There's no way. There's no way they can't adjust the defense because your defense was ranked damn near in the bottom of every category. Was ranked damn near in the bottom of every relevant category. So there's no way they can go this offseason without adjusting the defense. Also, here's another thing too. What does Vic Fangio want on defense? That's something we got to keep in mind as well. Vic Fangio is a guy that's going to have a lot of control over it. He's going to have full control on his defense. Isn't that what we think? You don't bring in a guy with that kind of pedigree, with that kind of notoriety, and not give him control over his defense and control over the type of personnel he wants. So here's the thing. As much as we wanted Patrick Queen, right? Does he fit what Vic Fangio wants to do on defense? That's something that we have to consider. That's something that we have to think about. So I want to think about some again. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Time's out. Time's out. Okay. We got some more news coming across the wire. Some more news coming across the wire, okay? So I know I mentioned to you guys, obviously, DeAndre Swift signed to the Bears. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. Let's just bring it up here. All right, so let's just go through free agency, you guys. Let's just go through it all. Let's go through it, okay? So we talked about Bryce Huff signing a 3-year deal, $51.1 million with the Eagles. Okay. On top of that, listen to this. The Packers signed Josh Jacobs, which means Aaron Jones is going to be released. I wonder who's going to pick up Aaron Jones. That's something to think about. Okay. The Vikings signed linebacker Blake Cashman, 3-year deal, $25.5 million. What else we got here? What else we got? DeAndre Swift to the Bears. We talked about that. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. We talked about that. That's a hell of a move, man. Again, that's very interesting to see. Gabe Davis signs with the Jaguars. They need another wide receiver. They're going to lose Calvin Ridley. So now you have Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis. Both of those guys, in my opinion, neither of those guys are A receivers. I think Christian Kirk is a B receiver. I think Gabe Davis is like a B- receiver. So they got two. In my opinion, I think the Jags got 2 number 2s at wide receiver. That's just my opinion. Let's see what else we got here. What else we got? What else we got in free agency? I mentioned Bryce Huff. Josh Jacobs to the Packers, man. That's going to be crazy. So I think so far that's the biggest news in free agency. The Titans signed Tony Pollard. That's interesting as well. Where's Derrick Henry going? That's what I'm curious about. Where's Derrick Henry going? Here's some numbers for Bryce Huff, by the way, you guys. 67 pressures on only 334 pass rush snaps. This is in 2024. Excuse me. 67 pressures on only 334 pass rush snaps. 86.8 pass rush grade, which is the highest on the Jets. 22.9 pass rush win percentage, best in NFL. 10 sacks on 21 quarterback hits. Only 25 years old. $51.1 million. It's not bad, man. You're you're betting on upside. You're betting on upside. So yeah, so far I think that's the biggest news in free agency right now. That's the biggest news. But again, though, I'm super excited about this offseason because I know Saquon Barkley is the sexy move, right? It's the sexy thing to talk about, but I want to know what's going to happen on defense. That's what I want to know. I want to know what's going to happen on defense. I want to know what's going to happen with Devontae Smith's contract. That's something that's not getting talked about enough, in my opinion. That's something that's not getting talked about enough, in my opinion. All right, so we've been live for about 56 minutes, you guys. We're going to do a quick reset, okay? Let's reset a little bit. So we got 263 people in the live stream. Let's do a quick reset. We're going to revisit everything. We're going to start from the top. You know, I know a lot of you guys haven't seen me in a while. You guys haven't seen me in about a week and some change, I think, maybe 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. It's been about 2 weeks since I parted ways with JAKIB Sports. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since JAKIB Sports decided to take their programming in a different direction. I know a lot of you guys are just hopping in on the live stream, and a lot of you guys don't know what happened. A lot of you guys don't know why I'm no longer on JAKIB Sports, and I'm going to tell you guys now. Like I told a lot of you guys who are our ladies and gentlemen, like I told a lot of you ladies and gentlemen who came into the live stream from the beginning, I'm not going to sit here and throw stones at my former employer. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to sit here and throw stones at my former employer because that does nothing for me. I don't gain anything. I don't earn more cash by throwing stones at my former employer. I learned a lot working with JAKIB Sports. I met a lot of people working with JAKIB Sports. My network has become robust because of JAKIB Sports. So thinking about everything that I've learned while working at JAKIB Sports and everything that I've achieved and everything that I've built working there, how can I throw stones at them when they gave me my first shot in the game? Remember, I started out Chalk It Up Sports. That was the content I was doing. And also, let me make this clear. I poured so much of my time, so much of my effort into help build JAKIB Sports to what it is today. That's why I took a step back from Chalk It Up Sports, because Chalk It Up Sports demanded a lot of time as well. And JAKIB Sports, my role was growing exponentially month after month, season after season. So I made the executive decision to take a step away from Chalk It Up Sports and focus solely on my major moneymaker, which was JAKIB Sports. No one told me to stop making content at Chalk It Up Sports. No one told me to stop making content, right? I want to make that very clear. No one told me, no one said, Tone, you can't make content on Chalk It Up Sports anymore. No one had exclusive rights to me at all. At all. I don't sign contracts like that. I don't sign contracts where I'm handcuffed, held to the no. Unless I got some equity somewhere, I'm not signing no contract where you got exclusive licenses to my voice, my skill set. So I put Chalk It Up Sports on hold because I was pouring a lot of my time and effort into JAKIB Sports. Now, let's get to JAKIB Sports and what went wrong and why I'm no longer there. Again, if you guys are just hopping in on the live stream, we're resetting the show. We're starting from the top. If you guys have been here from the beginning, I appreciate you guys for rolling with me. Make sure you guys smash that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed if you like the content, if you like the conversation. But JAKIB Sports decided to cut ties with me because they wanted to take their content and their programming into a new direction. Now, I don't know if they've announced anything to you guys, right? Because I'm not the only one that JAKIB Sports decided to move on from. But you guys tell me, I haven't been too locked in on what's going on at JAKIB Sports these days. But you guys tell me if they made an announcement or not about what their future is, about what's going on with the programming. I don't know. I'm no longer affiliated with JAKIB Sports. Although I'm not going to disrespect them because they gave me my shot, right? I don't roll like that. At the end of the day, it's about being professional in this game. And professionalism and moving with dignity and tact is going to always get you further than moving with salt and moving with anger and vengeance. That doesn't move the needle on my side. I know negativity sells, but I'm not buying. You feel me? So overall, I don't know what their long-term plan is or what their future holds, but they decided that I and along with other of my colleagues are no longer a part of that vision, which is fine. Companies go through turnover, companies go through transitions all the time. This is not new. But here's the thing though. Anything you guys want to know about JAKIB Sports and what they're going through, you guys can do your own research. I'm not going to be the one to speak ill of them. But I poured a lot of my effort. I want you guys to know when I was working there and when I was doing content, producing and working behind the scenes and creating graphics and organizing guests to come onto the show and coordinating back and forth and producing north of 7 hours of content each and every day and working 6 days, sometimes 7 days out of the week. I want you guys to know I gave it my all. I want you guys to know my effort is not in vain. Like I said, producing, working on camera, editing, doing graphics, research, social media, all that kind of stuff. Shout out to my man James, by the way. Shout out to my man James McKeith. I think he's the social media manager there at JAKIB Sports. Shout out to my man James. Good dude, man. Shout out to James. But again, put in a lot of time. And sometimes you don't always get what you think you deserve. Sometimes things don't always work out in your favor. That's just the reality of life sometimes. I can't speak for what happened above me. All I know is my services were no longer required. And that's the sad reality. I got a call. It was on a Wednesday morning around 7 a.m. Got a call. My services are no longer required. Was it a tough pill to swallow? Sure. But at the same time, it was just a reminder to me that nothing in this life is promised. You got to continue to grind and you got to continue to put your best foot forward, regardless if things don't go your way. I learned a lot working at JAKIB Sports. I learned what to do. I learned what not to do. I learned how to maneuver. I learned how to run shows. I want to give shout outs to my colleagues, man. I want to give shout out to my colleagues. And infamous call-ins are going to be done at some point. I'm gonna get back to that. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna get back to doing call-ins. Don't get me wrong. I saw your post. I'm gonna get back to doing them. But nonetheless, I want to give shout outs to people I learned the most from. I learned so much from my man Barrett Brooks. I learned so much from Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, John McMullen, Jordan McDonald, Mark Forzetta, Dan Cilio, Bill Colarulo, Seth Joyner. You know what I'm saying? Gary Cobb, a regular guest that came on. I learned so much from Jeff Kerr. Shout out to my man Jeff Kerr, CBS reporter. Learned a lot from those guys, man. All those guys reached out to me personally. When things went south. Well, actually, when things went south, my natural inclination was to reach out to my colleagues and let them know what happened and say, look, regardless of what goes on, I am grateful for your friendship, your mentorship, your leadership, and for also making space and paving a lane for somebody like me, paving a lane for a rookie like me in this game. I still consider myself a rookie in this thing. I'm learning a lot. It's important to remain teachable, right? So I felt like my entire time at JAKIB, I always wanted to remain teachable. No matter what I was doing, no matter what the connections I made, no matter what my position was, always remain teachable. So I'm so grateful for the people that gave me the rock and told me to shoot. I'm so grateful for the people that said, hey, Tone, here's the oop, do your thing. I'm grateful for that. I don't take that for granted. So I ain't got nothing negative to say about nobody. I ain't got nothing negative to say. I'm not here to talk about the business. I'm not here to talk about what went wrong or what went right with that. I'm not here to break that down for you guys. You guys can do your own research and find out what's going on at JAKIB Sports. And you can choose to not believe it. You can choose to believe it. But what you can do, what I want you to do, is continue to support them. Continue to stay subscribed to JAKIB Sports. Continue to like their content. Continue to follow what they're doing. Continue to do that. I mean that. That's not me being facetious here. I want you guys to continue to watch their content. I want you guys to continue to support them, right? Because there's so much landscape out here for everybody to eat. Emmanuel, thank you so much, man. Of course, man. I'm never gonna be down forever. I just need to take some time off. I'm never gonna be down forever, man. Jason A says, they won't even touch the subject, which is why it was so weird. Yeah, I mean, people deal with controversy and they deal with change differently than others. So, I can't judge people for how they handle change. I can't. Vesco says you were my favorite host on JAKIB, so best believe I'm gonna tune in with whatever you do. Vescalier, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot to me. Danny D, glad to see you back, Tone. I'm glad to see you, Danny. Thank you. NFL Reality Check, man. What's going on? Thank you. I appreciate you. The Yell Nation podcast. She said, bro, what happened? Things happen. Things happen. The business always takes precedent. Keep that in mind. No matter what you do, no matter what company you work for, keep in mind the business will always take precedent, right? Numbers don't lie. So remember, the business will always take precedent. But thank you, Yell Nation. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Yell Nation. I appreciate you for your $2 super chat. It means a lot to me. Goes a long way, man. It definitely helps me. I do not take it for granted. Best believe that. Best believe that. I do not take the support you guys provide for granted. It means a lot to me, man. Shout out to the Yell Nation podcast with the $2 super chat. It's so funny whenever you guys provide me with super chats, right? I always think to myself, wow, people are taking money out of their own pocket, out of their own nest egg to donate to my channel. That's a big deal to me. That's a big deal to me. I don't take that kind of stuff for granted at all, because we all got bills. We all got families. We all got responsibilities. I get all that. So whenever you guys take the time out and invest in me, it's only right that I give it back to you guys in terms of my energy, my passion, my hard work. So again, although things didn't work out for the long term at JAKIB Sports, I'm grateful for the opportunity that they did give me, right? I'm grateful for the opportunity that they did give me. I have nothing negative to say about anybody. Nothing negative to say about anybody. Nothing. Shout out to Dan Cilio for giving me the shot. give me a shot to really just take over his show for an hour and a half, something like that, to just kick it with him, talk football, whether we agreed or disagreed. I know a lot of people have their own opinions about Dan. I know people got their own opinions about him, but I can only speak on my experience, and I can only speak on how things affected me. Did me and Dan have real conversations off camera? Did we address a lot of the controversy attached to him? Absolutely. Because I have respect for him as a man, and he has respect for me as a man. So whatever hiccups that we came across throughout our relationship, we discussed it and we addressed it as men. And I have a ton of respect for Dan Sileo for giving me an opportunity. Although I know he can rub a lot of y'all the wrong way. I get it. And I disagree. I tend to disagree with Dan a lot. But regardless, he gave me my shot. And I'm forever grateful to him for showing love to me. That's all I can do. All I can do is speak on my experience. So shout out to Sills, man. Shout out to him. Again, shout out to my man Rob Ellis. Me and him held down Sports Take for 3 months, 4 months while our guy D Gun was, taking care of his family. Shout out to my man D Gun. Shout out to my man D Gun, who, man, so much insight, so much experience, gave me so much mentorship. Rob Ellis, same thing. So much guidance, so much insight, gave me so much mentorship. Bear Brooks gave me so much mentorship. John McMullen taught me a lot. Jordan McDonald taught me a lot. Shout out to my man Bill Colarulo as well. I hope he's doing well. Shout out to my man Mark Forzetta. Always made himself available to me. Always made himself available. Got a lot of love and respect for him. This business can be your friend and this business can be your enemy. So regardless of how it goes down, there's a thin line between that. And never let a hard time define you. Always try to step over it. Never let it define you. John G. and Pedro, he said, sorry to hear the news, Tone. I guess lunch take is gone. Perhaps you can invite Rob, D-Gun, and other guests we love watching. Of course, man. Of course. I'm going to always reach out to those guys when they're available and see if they can always spare their time with me. Those guys gave me a shot. Those guys helped me carve out my voice. In this thing, it's all about trying to find your voice and form your own opinions. So I'm grateful for those guys allowing me to do that, giving me the space to do that, man. So that's that, man. All good things got to come to an end. Ain't got nothing bad to say about JAKIB Sports. Nothing. I want y'all to stay locked in. I want y'all to continue to watch their shows, see where it goes, continue to support them. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to their content, but also make sure you guys smash my like button. If you like what you're hearing, if you like the energy, like the vibes, make sure you guys also subscribe to the channel. If you like the energy, like what you're hearing, like what you're seeing. But let's get back to the football talk. The Philadelphia Eagles signed Saquon Barkley. Former New York Giant Saquon Barkley. The Philadelphia Eagles signed Saquon Barkley to a 3-year, $37.75 million contract that could be worth up to that could be worth up to $46.75 million. Ooh, excuse me, my numbers, you guys. There's a lot of numbers in front of me. Let's start from the top. Former Giants running back Saquon Barkley reached an agreement with the Philadelphia Eagles on a 3-year, $37.75 million contract that could be worth up to $46.75 million. Man, I never would have thought the Eagles would sign a running back to that kind of money. I really didn't see that coming. $37.75 million. Worth up to $46.75 million. That's a maximum average salary of $15.8 million. Maximum. And a minimum average salary of $12.5 million. 12.58 to be exact. So the Eagles are going to be paying Saquon Barkley between 12.5 and 15.8 million over the next 3 years. If he hits incentives, if he stays healthy, but it includes 26 million fully guaranteed. So they're only on the hook for 26 million. So at the floor, he's going to make 26 million. At the most, he can make 46.75. I think we all know he's not going to hit all those incentives. He's not. So the Eagles are basically paying Saquon Barkley $13 million. They're basically paying him $13 million over the next 2 years, or $26 million over the next 2 years, $13 million on average. And I think at the time, last year, what was he making? 10 million? Something like that, 11 million? So overall, I mean, it's not a terrible number when you think about the extra money they're on the hook for. It's not a terrible number. I would love to know the cap hits, though. That's what I'm curious about. What are the cap hits? Right? What are the cap hits? That's my biggest concern here. What are the cap hits? I don't know if that's not going to come out for some time, but let's see if I can find something here. See if we can get some kind of insight. Because Saquon Barkley, 26 million fully guaranteed out of a $47 million contract, potentially. It's not bad. But when I think about the Philadelphia Eagles on defense, I ask myself, what's the move there? Are they going to fully go all in a draft on defense? All right, here we go here. So it hasn't been updated yet. Yeah, it hasn't been updated yet on Spot Rack or Spot Track, but based off what I'm seeing on Spot Track or Spot Rack, rather, however you want to pronounce it, based on what I'm seeing, Saquon is going to be in the top 5 in running back contracts. Going to be in the top 5 in running back contracts. Okay. And DeAndre Swift, that puts him, DeAndre Swift's contract, he's making $8 million a year on average. So that puts him in the top 6. He's going to be making more than James Conner. Saquon is going to be making more than Aaron Jones and making more than Nick Chubb on average. But again, it all depends on the incentives, right? That's what it all depends on. Commanders signed starting center for the Cowboys. Okay. Well, who was that? I forget his name. But nonetheless, how do you guys feel about the Saquon Barkley signing? Are you happy about it? Are you upset about the amount of money he got? What's your biggest concern about Saquon Barkley? When it comes to the Eagles signing Saquon Barkley, what's your biggest concern? Tyler Baidaz. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's good. The Commanders got a lot of money, too. Matt Weeks, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for locking in. What's your biggest concern when it comes to Saquon Barkley? We got 282 people watching in the live stream, man. I really appreciate you guys. Eagle Slayer, 95. Thank you, my man, for locking in. He says health. Health. Let's see here. So Saquon Barkley last season, in 2023, he played 14 games out of 17 potential games. He had 962 yards rushing on 247 attempts. Wow. He averaged just short of 4 yards an attempt. He averaged 3.9 yards an attempt. He had 6 rushing touchdowns. And then receiving, he had 280 receiving yards on 41 receptions and 4 receiving touchdowns. So He basically had what is that? 1,200 yards of offense. Yeah, 1,200 yards of total offense and 10 touchdowns. Not his best season at all. But here's the thing. Saquon Barkley has never played with a running back. He's never played with an offensive line. So now also we're going to talk about this too. I didn't get a chance to chat with y'all about this either. Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox, gone. Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox, gone. I think part of me wanted Jason Kelce to come back, and part of me felt like he was coming back. But I think the closer we got to the date, I had a feeling he wasn't coming back. He was having too much fun off the field. So eventually, I didn't think he was going to he wasn't going to come back. So losing Jason Kelce is huge. Losing Jason Kelce is so huge because now we have to ask ourselves, is Cam Jurgens the guy? Does Cam Jurgens have what it takes to be the new starting center for the Philadelphia Eagles? That's the $1 million question. Does Cam Jurgens have what it takes? Now, look, I'm not asking Cam Jurgens to replace Jason Kelce, but I want Cam Jurgens to be the best version of himself. Remember, Cam Jurgens was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles because Jason Kelce strongly recommended him. Recommended him. Delco Green says, we're so concerned about Saquon's injury history. Let's take a look at Christian McCaffrey's injury history. He was plagued with injuries on the Panthers. It's a good point. You know, sometimes a change of pace can do a lot for you. Also, keep this in mind too. The Giants Stadium, their turf is notorious for some of the most gruesome injuries that we've seen in the NFL. The Giants and Jets turf is notorious for causing some of the most injuries in the NFL. Is it fair to say that Saquon could be healthier in Philadelphia because they have a better training staff, which was ranked top 3 in the NFL, I believe, based off of the NFLPA, their voting? And also, the Eagles play on grass. So could that play a factor, Philadelphia Eagles fans? Could that play a factor? Could Saquon Barkley coming to the Eagles do wonders for his health? Delcor brings up a good point. Christian McCaffrey had an injury history with the Panthers. Ever since going to the 49ers, he's been healthy. I think he missed a game in 2023 or 2, maybe. But for the most part, he's been healthy. Saquon has played on the MetLife turf for 6 years. 6 years. Think about that. He played on the MetLife turf for 6 years and dealt with the injury damn near every single year. And 2020 was his worst year. He got hurt and he was a non-factor in 2020. But in 2021, 13 games played. 2022, 16 games played. 2023, 14 games played. So right now he's averaging about 15 games played per season, right? over the past 3 years, averaging about 15 games played. Not bad. But at the same time, could things change with him actually playing on the Eagles' grass? Trey979 says, does Brazil have grass? I have no idea. That's a good question. I have no idea. I would imagine they do. You want to know why? Because 9 times out of 10, the Eagles and who's the Browns? The Eagles and the Browns are going to be playing at a soccer stadium. And soccer players only play on grass. Soccer players only play on grass. The Falcons are signing Kirk Cousins. Wow. Wow. Damn. Woo. Free agency is on fire right now. Okay. Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. We talked about this. Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons. Damn, that's crazy. So does that mean the Bears aren't trading? Because the only destinations that I had Justin Fields going to was the Steelers or the Falcons. If the Falcons signed Kirk Cousins and the Steelers signed Russell Wilson, does Justin Fields get traded or not? Does Justin Fields get traded on draft night? And if he does, where does he go? If he does, where does he go? Because I had Justin Fields either get traded to Falcons or Steelers. Steelers got Russell Wilson. They decided to go the veteran route. Also, they went the cheapest route possible. And I respect what the Steelers did because the Broncos got to pick up that $38 million deal. Meanwhile, the Steelers get to kick the tires on Russell Wilson for a season at a veteran minimum. I like that. And me personally, I've always felt like the Steelers were a quarterback away. They had receivers. They got a tight end. They got an offensive line. Their running back combination is pretty solid. It's very, very, very solid. And they have a defense. And they made it to the playoffs with Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. How did they even do that? So, man, you got to give credit where credit is due for the Steelers making that move for Russell Wilson. Low risk, high reward. Russell Wilson didn't have a bad season last year. Russell Wilson had a pretty good season last year, all things considered. Did they start off slow? Absolutely. But statistically, Russell Wilson had a good season. So I don't think he's done. And if there's any situation where he can thrive in, it's Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin is a hell of a coach. So we'll see how that thing goes. We'll see. But Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. So Kirk Cousins now gets to play with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. That offensive line is getting better. That defense has more talent on it. Could the Falcons win the NFC South? Remind you, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-signed Baker Mayfield, and Mike Evans is returning to the Buccaneers as well. Mike Evans makes them better. So now the NFC South, the Panthers are still at the bottom. The Saints, I don't know what they're doing. The Buccaneers and the Falcons. Are the Falcons now the best team in the NFC South? Let me ask y'all this question. Does Kirk Cousins make the NFC South a foregone conclusion? Does Kirk Cousins automatically make the Falcons the best team in the NFC South? Remind you, the Buccaneers barely won the NFC South, barely, with Baker Mayfield. So does Kirk Cousins automatically make the Falcons the favorite for the NFC South? Trade 979 says no. Woo! Xavier McKinney, $68 million? Come on, stop playing. Are y'all serious? Eagle Slayer, I thought the same thing. I thought the Falcons was going to trade for Justin Fields. That's what I thought. Are y'all serious? Xavier McKinney, $68 million? Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. I got to see this. Hold on. Stop playing. Where are we at? Where are we at here? Did Xavier McKinney really get that much money? No, I know, Infamous. I know. But I'm saying, did they really give him that money? $60 million? I'm not saying he's a bad player. No, twisted. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But $68 million? All right. For a safety, I mean, he's good, but he ain't Jesse Bates. Look, he's good, but he ain't Jesse Bates. I'm not saying Xavier McKinney's bad. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I want to make that clear. He's not bad, but he ain't Jesse Bates. He ain't Jesse Bates, man. Come on, man. Congratulations to him, though. How much guarantee did he get? What was the guarantees, Infamous? What are the guarantees? Here it is. Okay. Xavier McKinney signs a 4-year deal worth $68 million. Okay, what are the guarantees, though? I want to know the guarantees. What are the guarantees? That probably didn't come out yet, but I just want to know. Giants interested in Boston Scott. I don't know why I found that funny. Infamous, you funny as hell, dog. Delco Green says the Packers just raised the Super Bowl stock even more. I think the Packers are a team to be reckoned with. They are a team to be reckoned with. I think the Eagles need to, at this point, the Eagles got to focus on defense. The Eagles need to make some defensive moves. Now, I don't want to overlook the Eagles signing Bryce Huff. Okay? I don't want to overlook that. That's a very big deal. And the Eagles signing Bryce Huff tells me that Hassan Reddick is likely being traded. That's what it tells me. They gave Bryce Huff a 3-year deal worth up to $51.1 million, which is an average salary of $17 million. That's what it is. It's an average salary of $17 million. And we know Hassan Reddick was looking for $20 million or more. I think that's what I think we all can agree that's what Hassan Reddick was looking for, north of $20 million. The Eagles knew they weren't giving him that money. So the Eagles found a way to find a younger player that would be cheaper, that's coming off of a career, that's coming off of one of his best seasons as a young player, 25 years old compared to Hassan Reddick's 29 years old. As a matter of fact, Bryce Huff, he's going to be 26 when the season starts. So let's just say he's 26. When the season starts, Bryce Huff is going to be 26. And when the season starts, Hassan Reddick's going to be 30. So that's I think the Eagles, I'm not mad at the move. I like Hassan Reddick, by the way. I like Hassan Reddick a lot. But I don't like him enough to give him $25 million. That's just where I'm at with it. No disrespect. But I don't like him that much to give him $25 million. I don't like him that much. But Bryce Huff, you got younger, and you get more size at the position. Bryce Huff, 6'3", 255. Hassan Reddick, 6'1", 240. You significantly get more size at the position. All right, what else we got here? Devin Singletary to the Giants. Devin Singletary had a decent season with the Texans. Wasn't that where he was at? Just the Texans? Devin Singletary? Let's see. Devin Singletary. Yeah, Devin Singletary, he had a pretty good year with Houston. Not bad at all. He had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. He had 4 total touchdowns. Not bad. I mean, he averaged 4 yards an attempt. Not bad. But I think the Texans O-line is better than the Giants O-line. And Saquon Barkley he didn't have an O-line his entire career with the Giants. So I'm curious to know what Saquon's going to do with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, obviously, Jason Kelce is not here anymore. So that means that changes things. Also, what's the future at right guard, right? What's the future at right guard? Does Tyler Steen step in? Do the Eagles draft a guy? That center and right guard position has question marks. Has legitimate question marks. Let's see what we got here. Because the news is flying in. The news is flying. Let's see what we got. The news is flying in. Okay. Okay. I want to ask y'all a question. I got to ask y'all a question, man. Does Devontae Smith get his money? Does Devontae Smith get his money from the Philadelphia Eagles? Y'all tell me. We got 286 people in the live chat. I appreciate y'all so much for locking in. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you like the content. Only subscribe if you really like it, man. I'm never gonna, I want you guys to make sure I want to make sure you guys are getting your time's worth. So make sure you guys smash the like button. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys are subscribed and make sure you guys definitely come back. JAKIB Sports is back, baby. JAKIB Sports is back with a vengeance. Shout out to my man, the Philly Talk Podcast. Shout out to my man, Philly Mike in the building. Thank you so much, my man, for locking in on the content, my man. It means a lot to me. I do not take any kind of support for granted. So thank you, Philly Mike, for locking in. He says, how do you like the Barkley move? At face value, you say to yourself, damn, that's a lot of talent, right? You say to yourself, damn, Saquon Barkley, for the first time in his career, is going to have a good offensive line. You're missing Jason Kelce, obviously, and you still got to figure out right guard. But Melada, Dickerson, and Lane Johnson on the right side. So you think about that, right? You think about Saquon Barkley's talent base. You think about how he can run, he can catch, he runs with power, he's elusive, he's fast. He can block as well, can catch any ball you throw to him. From face value, at face value, the move is very sexy. The move is very exciting at face value. But then I ask myself, wow, you spent that kind of money for a running back that I never thought that they would do. Mike, you've been covering this team for a long time, much longer than I have. They never spend that kind of money on running back. Never. So when I saw them spend that money, I was shocked. So now I have no idea how to predict this team going forward in free agency and in the draft. Because they never spend that kind of money on running back. Saquon Barkley is going to be making at minimum $12.5 million a year, up to $15.8 million per year if he hits incentives. Now, I don't think he's going to hit all those incentives, but on average, you gave him, on average, when you think about the contract at face value, you gave him $26 million guaranteed, which is an average of $13 million over the next 2 years. So you're going to be paying Saquon Barkley $13 million over the next 2 years, guaranteed. Right? But again, at face value, the move is sexy. At face value, it makes his offense lethal. But then I ask myself, if you spent that kind of money on running back, why couldn't you spend that kind of money on linebacker? What's the plan at linebacker? Your defense needed more help than your offense. I think your offense issues were creative based, were play calling based, right? I didn't think the offense had talent issues. I felt like the defense had talent issues, especially at linebacker. So when I see you spend that kind of money at the running back position, as exciting as the move is, I got to ask you at the same time, what about the linebacker? Nakobe Dean, we have no idea what he is. Zach Cunningham, Nicholas Morrow, we have nobody at linebacker right now. So I think some people preferred Patrick Queen. I didn't think Patrick Queen was possible because I didn't think they would spend that kind of money at linebacker. But then when I saw them spend that money at running back, I'm like, okay, now all bets are off. What's the game plan here? Landon Dickerson just got paid. You know what I'm saying? So at face value, I like the move. But when I dig a little deeper, I ask myself, wasn't defense the real problem last year? Wasn't defense the bigger issue? You lost Fletcher Cox. You don't know what Nakobe Dean is. You cut Avonte Maddox. You cut Kevin Byard. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they got to step up at some point, right? They're the future. But your linebacker position, we have no idea what's going to happen. Hassan Reddick, we have no idea what his future holds. Now, granted, they did sign Bryce Huff. Right? 3 years. How much was it? 3 years, $51.1 million, which is an average salary of $17 million. So basically, you got away with paying a younger player with some upside, with more size at the position, lesser money than what Hassan Reddick is trying to get you for. Hassan Reddick was making $15 million a year. He's still on contract, by the way. But Hassan Reddick on the books, $15 million. Josh Sweat's contract is coming up, but you decide to bring in Bryce Huff because that tells me in my mind, oh, you're trading one of those guys. If you ask me, one of those guys is getting moved. Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat is way younger. Josh Sweat is 26, I think. Maybe 27. Hassan Reddick is the oldest guy. He's going to be 30 when the season starts. So I think by you bringing in Bryce Huff, that's the tell. You're trading Hassan Reddick. But you still got to figure out some other things on defense. So as sexy as the move is, Mike, as exciting as it is, I think defense was their biggest issue. And I think defense is where they really need to allocate resources. That's just where I'm at with it. So I'm not gonna shit on the move. I'm not gonna say the move is terrible because Saquon Barkley, man, with running behind Mailata and Dickerson and Lane Johnson, and you got Jalen Hurts back there, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. We don't know who the number 3 receiver is going to be, but still, that's a pretty lethal offense. But in my humble opinion, that's the only move on offense that you need to make. That's the only move on offense you should be making. The Eagles don't need to make another move on offense. Unless you find a cheap number 3 receiver. But other than that, the Eagles should not make any more moves on offense until they get that defense sorted out, in my humble opinion. They need more depth, obviously. They're going to draft depth and all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong here. But when it comes to the defense, they got to put the money there. Also, Philly Mike, once again, thank you so much for locking in on the content, my man. I appreciate you for being present. I think another thing that's important to ask is, and we're not going to know this until later down the line, but I think what's important to ask is, what are the cap hits for Saquon Barkley's contract? What are the cap hits for Bryce Huff's contract? That's what we have to ask ourselves here. What are the cap hits? Because that's going to tell me a lot. And again, you gave Saquon Barkley $26 million guaranteed. So basically, you're on the hook for $13 million over the next 2 years. Who knows if he's even here that long? But the Eagles are clearly trying to put enough bullets in the gun, and they're trying to give their quarterback as many guys around him so they can be lethal. So I respect it. But overall, defense is where we need bodies. Defense is where we need talent. Blount says, we are going to a youth movement on defense, collecting draft capital on Sweat and drafting linebackers and defensive. So you think they're trading Sweat? You think they're going to trade Sweat and keep Hassan? Infamous says, hey, at least you're not sitting on 100 million and doing nothing with it. Hey, listen, man, when you sometimes paralysis by analysis is a real thing. When you got too many resources, it can paralyze you, and you don't know what to do with it. John Monroe says, is it too early to call it CJ/GJ season? You know what's funny, John? I heard rumors that he may be coming back here. We still don't know. I don't know if the relationship is still intact or if it was severed or not. I don't really know. But regardless of how it goes down, I think the Eagles need help at safety. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. Yo, did y'all hear what Tiki Barber said? Tiki Barber is such a weirdo, man. Tiki Barber is such a weirdo. He said, you're dead to us, Saquon. Good luck, you're dead to me. You're dead to me, Saquon. Yo, it's Tiki, shut up. Shut up, man. Be quiet. Be quiet. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Sorry. You know how you see a funny video online and you just get caught watching it? My bad. Nonetheless, though, let's see here. Yeah, man. This is crazy, man. Okay, so the details. Okay, I got the details on Kirk Cousins' contract here. I got the details for Kirk Cousins. I've been looking for this. All right, so Kirk Cousins. These are the details. Let's see here. Let's get this. Make it a little larger. All right. Details for okay, so woo, my God, Kirk Cousins. Who is his agent? Kirk Cousins signs a 4-year, $180 million contract that includes a $50 million signing bonus per sources. Another monster payday for Cousins, who gets $100 million guaranteed, $90 million in 2024 and 25, plus another $10 million in 2026, and a fresh start in Atlanta at age 35. 180 divided by 4 is what? 45 million. What did I tell people? I told people, I said, listen, Kirk Cousins is going to get 40 plus million. I told people that. Nobody wanted to believe me. I said Kirk Cousins is getting $40 million plus dollars. Book it. Book it. That man got $45 million from the Falcons, and they not winning the Super Bowl. So, like, 4 years, man. 4 years, man. 4 years for Kirk Cousins. Not saying he's a bad player, but 4 years. He's 35, coming off of an ACL injury, or was it Achilles? I can't remember which one. He coming off of a terrible injury. 4 years, 180 million, 100 million guaranteed. Man. So basically, you're paying him. Okay, they can get out of the contract after year 2. They can get out of it. They can get out of that contract after year 2. Okay, it's not that bad. They can get out of it after year 2. It's 100 million guaranteed. So, okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Man, they can get out of it after year 2 though, but still, man, that's a lot of money. All right, let's see who's getting picked up. I think Derrick Henry going to the Ravens, y'all. I think Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. That's what I think is happening. I think Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. Where else could he go? Where y'all think Derrick Henry going? I think he's going to the Ravens. Gus Edwards to the Chargers. Let's see here what we got. Let's see. Man. It's a lot of money being thrown around today, y'all. It's a lot of money being thrown around. Infamous says, when did you like start? Oh, man, bro, Infamous. I've been liking anime since I was a kid, man. Since I was, bro, I'm a little older than you, but when I was a kid coming home from school, we used to like it on Toonami. Toonami used to come on, I think it was every day at from 4 to 6, or was it from 3 to 6? I can't remember how long the block was, but Toonami used to show Dragon Ball Z. Back in the day, they showed Dragon Ball. They used to show Gundam. They used to show Yu Yu Hakusho, and what else they showed back in the day? They showed Sailor Moon. I'm a big anime guy, man. A big anime guy. Right now, one of my favorite animes is I love Ninja Kamui on HBO Max. I don't know if you guys heard of that. Ninja Kamui on HBO Max is a hell of an anime. Action packed from beginning to end. I think episode 5 dropped yesterday. I watched it. They're only 5 episodes deep. It's a new anime. But yeah, man, when Akira Toriyama died, man, that was sad. That was sad, man. But my favorite anime of all time, Infamous. I need to know, are you talking all time, or are you talking about just right now? All time or right now? Because I love anime, man. My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Dr. Stone. That's my shit. I love Dr. Stone. What else? Um, Dragon Ball Z is like GOAT status. You know what I'm saying? Yu Yu Hakusho, Baki. You know what I mean? What else? Fucking what do we? I'm blanking. I'm blank. Attack on Titan and Naruto. Growing up, I remember when Naruto debuted on Cartoon Network. I remember when Naruto debuted in the States. I love Ninja Kamori. Who on here watched? Who on here has seen? Who on here has seen Ninja Kamori on HBO Max? Does anybody know Ninja Kamori? So, all right, my favorite animes of all time: Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, um, Attack on Titan. Man. Oh man, that's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. But if I had to go my favorite of all time, though, my favorite of all time, Dragon Ball Z and Naruto is like neck and neck. Yo, listen, I like One Piece, but they got too many episodes, cuz. They got too many episodes, man. My favorite new anime is Tokyo Revengers. Okay, I gotta lock in on that. I gotta lock in on that. But Ninja Kamui is hot. Ninja Kamui is fire. Dre, you know what I'm talking about, right? Dre, Ninja Kamui on HBO. That shit is hot. Y'all gotta watch it. You gotta watch it, man. What's another anime I liked growing up? I like Basilisk. I liked Gunslinger Girl. I don't know if I remember. See, I'm going deep in my bag now. Do y'all remember Gunslinger Girl? Gunslinger Girl was that work. You know what? My favorite anime of all time, Full Metal Alchemist. Y'all probably not gonna agree. Full Metal Alchemist is my favorite anime of all time. That's me. That's me. Full Metal Alchemist is my favorite anime of all time. It's Full Metal Alchemist, and then it's it's Full Metal Alchemist, and then I put Dragon Ball Z and Naruto tied for 2. I got Attack on Titan 3. What else? Man, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. I love My Hero Academia. I love My Hero. Damn. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough, man. It's tough. But my favorite anime of all time is Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist gave you everything. It gave you drama. It gave you action. The dialogue was tremendous. The story arc of the story arc is insane. Dead Man Wonderland. Yeah, tell me y'all know about Dead Man Wonderland. Tell me somebody knows about Dead Man Wonderland. Please. Please. Has anybody ever seen Dead Man Wonderland? What? Yo, infamous. Dead Man Wonderland, fire. Fire. Check that out if you get a chance. Fire. It's an anime, yep. Yeah. Larry, you know what I'm talking about. Dead Man Wonderland, for sure. Man, I appreciate y'all for liking on the content, man. I do not take the love for granted, not one bit. Not one bit, y'all. Yo, Jujutsu Kaisen, good call, infamous, good call. I don't know how I forgot about that. My brother put me on Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Jujutsu Kaisen is that shit. I think Jujutsu Kaisen won. It swept the anime awards, right? For like best everything. It swept the award shows. You know what I mean? So look, man, I appreciate y'all for liking on the content, man. I really appreciate y'all. Like y'all, but listen, we've been live for 2 hours, so I'm not even tripping. Thank y'all so much for locking in for as long as y'all have. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure y'all, yo, Niners, yo, Niners, man. Niners, you crazy, man. Yo, Shooter, come on, man. Really? Shooter, come on. I'm a married man. I got the real thing in the crib, man. Yo, what's going? Yo, Shooter, really? I got the real thing in the crib. I'm a married man. I got the real thing in the crib. I'm good. I'm good, Shooter. I don't indulge. Yo, Shooter, what the hell, man? I got the real thing in the house. I'm good. I'm good. I'm all good. I'm a married man, player. I'm a married man. I'm a married man. Oh man. Oh man. Yo, Shooter is hilarious. He said, I'm married too. I watch some shit, not hentai, but you got to take care of business from time to time. Yo, McGavin, you a funny guy, man. You a sicko. You're a sicko, man. He said, anime plus an Eagles fan, you never know what crazy shit you into. Hey, you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point, man. You bring up a very good point. Hey, Larry, here's the thing about CJGJ. Because he came off of that injury last year, there's no way he's getting 14 to 16 million a year. Oh, you're saying a 14 to 16 million $2-year deal. Okay, got you. Okay, I read it wrong. My bad. I read it wrong. He is going to be cheap. He came off of a bad injury. He didn't even play the whole season last year. So that's something to consider. But yeah, you guys, one of my favorite animes of all time is Full Metal Alchemist. I love Full Metal. That's a personal favorite of mine. I kind of put Full Metal Alchemist in its own category for me. That's like my own personal favorite. But like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Gundam, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen, Hunter. I like Hunter, man. I like Hunter. I like that one. But listen, if y'all get a chance, y'all gotta check out Ninja Kamui. That's a hell of an anime. Man. That's a good one for sure. That's a good one, without a doubt. Without a doubt, man. That's a really good anime, Ninja Kamui. Best believe that. But yeah, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys lock it on the content, man. I really appreciate all the love you guys are giving me, man. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, man. I do not take it for granted. So, okay, here we are. We got okay, here we go. Now that makes a lot more sense. That makes that's a lot more. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Huh. This is from Twitter. Okay. All right. Let's see what we're working with here. See what we're working with here. So okay, a lot of my views are coming from Twitter. I appreciate that, man. So all right, let's just go through our viewers, right? We got 263 people watching on Twitter. I appreciate that. We got 20 people on YouTube. I appreciate that. So I appreciate all the love, man. I appreciate all the love. So before I get out of here, man, I wanna once again I want to once again set the record straight for you guys. I want to set the record straight. I'm going to do a quick reset. And we're going to hit, Psycho Pass, Larry Love. Good call. Psycho Pass is very good. Psycho Pass is very, very good. Psycho Pass is very good, man. I like that one. I like that one a lot. All right, so yeah, before we get out of here, I want to I kind of want to, kind of let you guys get a peek behind the curtain and let you guys know why I'm no longer with JAKIB Sports, right? And I want you guys to know I'm no longer with JAKIB Sports because they decided that they wanted to take their content in a different direction. That's what they wanted to do, right? They wanted to take their content in an entirely new direction. And that decision was not my own. And that decision was not one I made. And look, I have nothing negative to say about JAKIB Sports. Nothing negative. I know you guys are kind of looking for the tea. I know you guys are kind of looking for like the inside scoop, but the reality is, look, JAKIB Sports gave me my shot. And I did the best I could with it. Right? All we can ever do is do the best we can with what the opportunities that we're given. And over the past couple of years, I started working for JAKIB in March of 2022. I started working for JAKIB Sports in March of 2022, and my role grew month after month. Week after week during the season, year after year. And I'm grateful for the connections, and I'm grateful for the friendships and the mentorship that I've received along the way. Things don't always end in our favor, right? And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and throw stones at JAKIB. I'm not going to say anything negative about him. I know a lot of you guys been here already, but I'm not going to say anything negative about him. I'm not. Because ultimately, they gave me an opportunity. And I would be stepping out of character. I would be going against my own morals if I decided to throw JAKIB Sports under the bus. That's not what I'm here for. That's not in my DNA. I'm sorry. I know negativity sells, but I'm not buying. That's not who I am, you guys. If you guys know me, if you guys have known me for as long as you've known me, I'm not really a negative guy. I try not to be negative. I try not to just put out stuff that I don't believe in. I try not to just speak. I try to really think about what I say before I say it. And it's important for me to maintain my own sense of dignity, and it's important for me to maintain my own professionalism. It's important to me to live up to my standard, right? Y'all know Jalen Hurts always says it. Keep the main thing the main thing. When I was working for JAKIB Sports, as my role increased, I began putting out less content on my own platform, JAKIB Sports. And that's not because anybody told me to or advised me to. And Trey, I'm so glad you said what you said here. He says you neglected this channel. The last upload was 11 months ago. That's loyal to the JAKIB, right? And here's the thing, Trey. They never told me I couldn't make my own content. Remember, I got that job because of the content I created on JAKIB Sports. But as my role for JAKIB Sports increased, as my responsibilities increased, I kind of had to lean more into where my responsibilities were heaviest. I had to lean more into where most of my money was being made. So I apologize to you guys for doing you a disservice. I apologize for not dedicating myself to you guys. I apologize for not dedicating enough of my energy and my resources to JAKIB Sports. But I want you guys to know it was only because I dedicated so much of myself, so much of my time, so much of my energy, so much of my effort into JAKIB Sports. So understand that I'm back and I'm in full effect. JAKIB Sports isn't going anywhere. You see, I spent so much time helping somebody get. I spent so much time helping people put food in their own table, and I didn't spend enough time making sure I had enough food on my own. And it happens, right? It happens. It's a part of the game. Opportunities come, opportunities go. But I don't have anything negative to say about JAKIB Sports. I want y'all to keep watching them. I want y'all to stay subscribed to them. I want y'all to hit the like button. I want y'all to lock in on all their content. I want you to truly pay attention to their platform. I have nothing bad to say. I have nothing bad to say about them. They gave me a shot. So I want to give a shout out to the people I learned the most from, the people who I felt like they had my back, and people that I want to give a shout out to the people I learned so much from, man, who really gave me the ball and told me to shoot. You know what I'm saying? I want to show love to the people that gave me the ball and said shoot. Right? I want to give a shout out to my man Derek Gunn. I want to give a shout out to my man Rob Ellis. I want to give a shout out to Dan Cilio. I want to give a shout out to John McMullen, Jody McDonald. You know what I mean? Those guys I learned a lot from. I learned a lot from Jeff Kerr. Learned a lot from Mark Farzetta, Seth Joyner, Mike Missinelli. Learned a lot from those guys. I learned a lot from those guys. You know, shout out to my man Bill Colarulo. We didn't have too much of an opportunity to really work together on too many occasions, but most importantly, shout out to my man Barrett Brooks. Barrett Brooks is my OG, triple OG. Yes. Barrett Brooks to this day calls my phone and checks on me, and I check on him. Barrett Brooks, I'm grateful to call him a mentor. I'm grateful to call Barrett Brooks a friend. I'm grateful for those gentlemen for giving me an opportunity. I'm grateful for those gentlemen for making me feel at home, right? I'm grateful for the opportunities I had to work at the Maxwell Awards. I covered the Maxwell Awards 2 years in a row. That was an awesome opportunity working at the Maxwell Awards. I met Jalen Hurts, Brandon Graham, Big Dom DeSandro. I met Jonathan Taylor, running back for the Colts. I met Sean Alexander. I met Brian Dawkins. You feel what I'm saying? Who else did I meet, man? I met Jordan Davis at the Maxwell Awards a couple years back. I can go on and on. I can go on and on. But the bottom line is, I made so many connections. I've been able to build a robust network because of my opportunity at JAKIB Sports. And I would like to hope that I maximize that opportunity. I would like to hope that you guys didn't get shortchanged by me. I neglected JAKIB Sports for a long time. But now we're here. We're back. We're back. Because I need to focus on building my platform again. I need to get back to loving on me first. And you guys didn't hear from me over the past couple weeks because I needed time to just get my thoughts together, to unpack what I went through. You know what I'm saying? So overall, like I said, I have nothing negative to say about anybody. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I'm always gonna lead with love. I understand negativity is the wave, but that's just not in me, man. That's just not how I move. That's not the wavelength I'm on. That's not the wavelength I'm on. It's just not. In my mind, some people may call this a bit too optimistic, but in my humble opinion, it's so much landscape for everybody. It's so much space for everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm going to continue to put out content, talking about, free agency and talking about the draft, all those things. All those things. I think what we're going to do, though, we're going to go live every Monday. That's one thing we're going to do because I'm still ironing out the scheduling, right? So work with me, you guys. I'm going to be dropping clips and stuff like that and like short, in like 10, 15-minute videos. Don't get me wrong. That stuff is going out. But just JAKIB Sports is back. Your boy Tone DeShields II is back, baby. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So I appreciate you guys. We've been live for over 2 hours, man. That's spectacular. So here's what's going to happen, you guys. I want you guys to stay tuned. Turn on the notification bell. Turn on the notification bell because I haven't ironed out my schedule yet. But make sure you guys smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed and make sure you guys hit the notification bell because I haven't ironed out the schedule just yet. But when I do go live and when I do put out videos and when I do put out community posts, I want you guys to be able to know what's going on and when I'm talking about it. We're going to have guests in the future. We're going to get back to the basics. We're going to get back to doing what we do best over here, right? We're going to get back to doing what we do best over here. So again, I don't have dates and times yet, Blount. I don't have dates and times yet, but just make sure the notification bell is hit. Make sure y'all smash the like button and make sure you guys are subscribed because best believe the content is going to be flowing. And I don't want you guys to miss a thing. So I'm grateful to everything that's happened to me over the past couple years, the past few months, over the past few weeks. I'm grateful for it all because it doesn't define you. It doesn't define me. It's all a cobblestone. It's all a brick that's being laid to form my path. So I appreciate you guys for being a part of the journey. It means a lot to me. So again, before we get out of here, your Philadelphia Eagles signed Saquon Barkley to a mega deal at the running back position. The Philadelphia Eagles. Let's make sure we got our numbers right. The Philadelphia Eagles. Where are we? Here we go. Where are the numbers? Saquon Barkley. Trying to remember the money. It was a 3-year deal with an average salary of $12.5 million and up to $15.8 million. Guaranteed money is $26 million. That's the guaranteed money. And I think he signed, here it is. All right. Sorry, you guys. So here we are. Saquon Barkley. Once again, we're going to do a quick update and then we're getting out of here. Saquon Barkley signed a 3-year, $37.5 million deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. A 3-year, $37.75 million deal that could be worth up to $46.75 million with $26 million fully guaranteed. has a maximum average salary of $15.8 million, a minimum average salary of $12.58. So Saquon Barkley is now a Philadelphia Eagle. That's number one. Number two, the Philadelphia Eagles signed Bryce Huff to a 3-year contract. Defensive end, edge rusher Bryce Huff signed a 3-year, $51.1 million deal with an average salary of $17 million per season. He's 25. He's going to be 26 when the season starts. And he's coming off of a 10-sack season, playing about 42% of the defensive snaps for the Jets. Now, my only concern about Bryce Huff is when the snaps go up, when he gets more opportunities, will that motor still run hot? That's my only concern. Does that motor still run hot if Bryce Huff is on the field 60% of the time versus 42% of the time? That's what I'm concerned about. Because, these guys, when they're not used to playing a lot of snaps, they kind of get exposed. So I'm curious to know how that looks. So the Eagles signed Saquon Barkley to a 3-year, $37.75 million deal worth up to, man, I can't believe they gave him that money. That's a lot of money, man. Worth up to $46.75 million. And they signed Bryce Huff to a 3-year deal, $51.1 million, which is $17 million average annual salary. So those are the two moves the Philadelphia Eagles made. Some ask, did they panic going after Saquon? Was it a move they needed to make? I'm at face value, the Saquon move is sexy at face value. But when you think about it beyond the paper, you say to yourself, damn, you needed help on defense. That's what I'm thinking about. You needed more help on defense than anything. So, can Saquon stay healthy? How will he fare behind this new look Eagles offensive line with the center position now being led by Cam Jurgens, with the right guard position likely being led by Tyler Steen or maybe someone else? You lost Jason Kelce. You lost Fletcher Cox. Will Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis be able to step up? Those are all the questions that we have now for the Philadelphia Eagles. What does the linebacker position look like going forward? What moves will they make on defense? Because that's what needs to happen. The defense needs more attention than the offense. So far in free agency, they made an offensive move and they made a defensive move. They have completely shocked the world with that contract they gave Saquon Barkley. For this reason only, the Eagles don't pay running backs. So I would like to know why change their trend now? What conversations did they have where they felt like they needed Saquon Barkley? What did they see on offense that made them believe they needed Saquon Barkley? Some will argue you had DeAndre Swift, could have brought him back significantly cheaper, and you didn't use him fully last year. I'm not saying DeAndre Swift is a ultra amazing runner. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that some people believe you didn't use DeAndre Swift enough or correctly. Therefore, maybe he was the answer at running back. But Saquon Barkley is super talented. Can block, can catch, can run, can do everything you ask him to do. Can he stay healthy? That's what I'm concerned about. But I'm even more concerned about what the future holds on defense. You lost Fletcher Cox. So can Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter step up? You brought in Bryce Huff. So 9 times out of 10, that means you're trading either Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat. Likely it'll be Hassan Reddick because Hassan's the one looking for the mega deal. What's the answer at linebacker? Nakobe Dean. I have no idea what he is. I have no idea if he's a bad player or a good player. All I know is he can't stay healthy. And that's a bad place to be in my book. Darius Slay, James Bradbury. Does Darius Slay have another Pro Bowl year left in him? Can James Bradbury redeem himself? What's the future at the slot corner position? What's the future at safety? All these things I'm tremendously concerned about. But Saquon Barkley is the answer. I don't know. I'm not shitting on the move, but I'm not jumping out the window for the move either because I'm looking at the defense. I know what they need on that side. The Philadelphia Eagles defense was at the bottom of damn near every relevant category. And the first move you made was a running back. That makes me scratch my head a little bit. I think if we're being objective, we're all saying to ourselves, did we need Saquon? What about that defense? What about linebacker? I know a lot of y'all wanted Patrick Queen. If you were going to spend that kind of money on running back, if you were going to buck your trend, why not buck it at linebacker where you need the most help? That's my perspective. That's my perspective. Real quick, once again, shout out to Roland for providing me with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. JAKIB Sports is so grateful to you, my man. I'm so grateful to you, my guy. Thank you. So grateful for the $10 super chat. Also, shout out to my man, the Yell Nation podcast, the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. The love and support is always felt. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you guys want to donate to the channel, just you guys know what to do with the super chat. That's entirely up to you guys. But I'm super grateful to Roland, and I'm super grateful to Yell Nation for donating to the YouTube channel. That means a lot to me. So shout out to those guys, man. Same difference, Blount. The first move was pass rush. Okay. However you want to slice it. What I mean is on day one of free agency, that's what I'm saying. You brought in a running back and you brought in an edge rusher. The edge rusher, okay. I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that. My only concern about him is, does the motor still run hot once that snap count gets up? That's my only concern about Bryce Huff. When it comes to Saquon Barkley, obviously health, but I think playing on grass most of the season versus playing on that MetLife turf would do him justice. But also, you spent that money on running back. If you were going to get creative like that, if you were going to surprise everybody, why not go linebacker? That was my mindset. I don't know. I'm not shitting on the move, but I'm looking at the defense and I'm saying, damn, don't we need more than that? Don't we need linebackers, a safety, a nickel corner? Is James Bradbury going to be? You lost Fletcher Cox. So I don't want you guys to think I'm crapping on Saquon Barkley. He's a very dangerous player, especially when healthy. But they need defense. They need a linebacker. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, you guys. But look, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys so much for locking in for over 2 hours with your guy, man. That's tremendous. You guys have been awesome. You guys always come when the bat signal goes into the sky. You guys always show up for me, man. Real quick, another one of my favorite animes growing up, Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a fire anime. Obviously, when you're a kid, you grow up on Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon. I love those as well. I love Cowboy Bebop. That's a classic. Cowboy Bebop is a classic, you guys. So make sure y'all like it on that, man. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. I don't take it for granted. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you definitely like the content. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Reminder, I do not have a schedule out necessarily just yet. I don't have a schedule just yet. But make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And make sure you hit the notification bell up top as well. Hit the notification bell or I think it's at the bottom, right? Let me make sure I got that right. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Yep, it's at the bottom. So yeah, make sure you guys hit that notification bell to make sure you know when the content is coming. I'm also going to put out posts on the community side as well. So grateful to you guys for always being here and locking in. We was live for 2 hours and 31 minutes. Shout out to the people on Twitter. Yeah, I see you guys. We got 263 people watching on Twitter. So shout out to the Twitter people. Shout out to all my followers on Twitter, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are tremendous. Shout out to all my followers and subscribers on YouTube as well. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. I appreciate you guys too. So just make sure you guys stay locked in on the content, stay subscribed, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and that's all I have for you guys. And listen, like I said, man, regardless of what changes I may be going through, never be afraid to evolve. Never be afraid to change. Never be afraid to go back to what you know. Never be afraid to go back to the basics. Sometimes we got to go home to find out, what our future holds, right? Sometimes we got to go back. Sometimes we got to go back to the beginning, to realign our future, right? There's nothing wrong. What's going on? Okay. Like I said, any questions that you guys may have for me, I'm going to always do my best to be as honest as I can with you guys, to be as honest as I can. But in the same breath, I'm never going to be disrespectful. I'm always going to operate with professionalism, and I'm always going to operate with tact and tender love and care. Because the reality is, although I'm no longer with JAKIB Sports, they gave me my shot. And sometimes all you need is a shot. Sometimes all you need is an opportunity just to see what steps you need to take going forward for yourself. You feel me? So there's no love lost. No hate being spread. I want y'all to still lock in on their content. I want you to watch them. Watch them closely and enjoy it. That's all I got to say about them, man. Shout out to my mentors. Shout out to my to the robust network that I've accumulated because of my opportunity working with JAKIB Sports. I don't take the robust network I've accumulated for granted, not one bit. So I appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. Smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. More content is on the way. JAKIB Sports is here to stay. Like I said, I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II, and you guys were locked in on JAKIB Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And we out of here.